Our question is, find the extrema for f of t equals t cubed minus 3/2 t squared on the interval -1 to 2. Now there's two types of extrema. A local extrema, which is basically the top of a curve or the bottom of a curve. We also have absolute extrema, which if this is our interval, the lowest point and the highest point will be our absolute extrema. We can also have an absolute extrema that looks like this, where this is the highest point and this is the lowest point. Anyways, there are basically three possible locations where these extrema can occur. Local extrema at the point f prime of t equals 0, and the absolute extrema could be at the left endpoint or the right endpoint. So we need to check how high on our xy axis our left and right endpoints are. The left endpoint, we take f of -1, and we end up with -5/2. And at the right endpoint, we take f of 2, and we get 2. Now we need to find the local extrema. To do that, we need the derivative f prime of t. And the derivative of t cubed is 3t squared, and the derivative of -3/2 t squared is -3t. That's where this 3t squared minus 3t comes from. And remember, the local extrema occur when f prime of t equals 0. So we're going to set f prime of t, this 3t squared minus 3t, equal to 0. I'm going to factor out a 3t from each term to get 3t times t minus 1. And we see that either t equals 0, since 0 times 3 times anything will be 0, or t equals 1, since 1 minus 1 is 0 times t times 3. It's okay, it'll all turn to 0. So these are where our local, the x values, or sorry, the t values of our local extrema, right? And to find our y values, we plug in f of 0 and we get 0. That's this extrema. And then our other extrema is at t equals 1. We plug in f of 1 equals 3/2. So we have four possible extrema now. We have -5/2. We have 2. We have 0. And we have 3/2. Now it's clear the biggest number here is 2, so that's our absolute max, or our largest absolute extrema. And then we have -5/2 is the smallest number, so that's going to be our absolute min. And that's how you find both the local extrema and the absolute extrema for a function.